Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace Kombe. If you're not already subscribed and you're new here, please subscribe down below. And if you're back for more videos, welcome back. And as you can see in the video description below, today we'll be talking about dating and relationships. So this isn't me being like saying I'm a relationship guru or anything. This is just me giving my 2 cents on what I think people should look for in relationships and kind of steps to prepare when you're about to get into a relationship and how to prepare yourself, if I can say that. And also just, how to position yourself to be ready for a relationship. And when I talk about relationships, I'm talking about more of relationships that are leading into marriage, not just casually dating, but more of, as a Christian, you'd say courtship, but relationships that will eventually end up into marriage. So if you're at an age where you feel like you're ready to meet the one and to get into a relationship where you're going to have those conversations about marriage and you're thinking of settling down and settling with your person, this is what I'm going to be focusing on in this video. So this is just basically my 2 cents to do with my experience with relationships and just, things that I had, if I can say, put in place or done, or things that I believe people should do as they get into a relationship or a courtship, right? So to start, for me, I think it starts with you as the person. You should have foundational values that you stand on, that you're not willing to compromise on, right? So what helped with me is that I wrote these down, and my mom is the one that encouraged me to do this. And this was things that we wrote down. Even my younger brother and sister, we had a list of things that we looked for in our future life partner, from the time we were in high school. And this is the list that we wrote down. And I was in grade 10 when I wrote down this list, which is your Form 3. And I prayed about this list almost every single day, I kid you not, throughout high school, throughout university. So this is a list of the things that I looked for in my partner and things that were important to me. So your values that are important to you. It could be family values that are important to you. It could be just things that you stand on. It could be faith related values that you're not willing to compromise on. And when you have this list, do not compromise on this list. So it could be things like someone that loves the Lord, someone that's honest, someone truthful, someone loyal, those things, right? So when you do meet someone and you start to have those initial conversations, don't be scared to ask the hard questions. That's the other thing I was going to say. So ask the hard questions when you start to talk to someone that you're interested in. What normally happens is that people end up asking the hard questions once they're already in love, and then at that point you're already compromising. And then even if this person's answers to your questions don't align with your values, your set of values that you have put down before, you're already in love. And the heart is deceitful. You're already feeling all these butterflies and everything. You're like, okay, it's cool, no one's perfect, he'll change, or I can change him. No, people, even when you get married, those characteristics just become more highlighted. So it's important to have those very difficult conversations before you fall in love, so that you abort mission. Do not be afraid to abort mission right in the beginning. If you think this guy's gonna think this chick needs to chill, she seems psycho, why is she leaving so soon, we've just gotten to know each other and everything. If what he's saying or his answers to your questions, his life beliefs or whatever, do not align with your values, abort mission. Abort mission. Don't stay around and say, okay, no, abort mission. So basically, I'm not saying everyone's perfect. We all have flaws, and we've all got things that we work on as we get into relationships, and we try to make each other better, of course. But I'm saying things for me, one thing was, I wasn't going to compromise on someone that's not honest, right? So if anyone was to come up with, say, lies or just any hint of dishonesty, abort mission. That's it. That's it for me. So for me, that was a huge deal breaker, and you have to be very strict about your deal breakers. Because if you start to compromise from the beginning, this person will just delay you, and as you go on, you continue compromising, and then you're going to find yourself married with 5 kids, and you're not happy because you compromised right in the beginning and you didn't have those difficult conversations. So stand on your foundational values and don't compromise on them. That's very important. Another thing that was really helpful for me when I got into getting to know people even during university and even after, was having someone I can speak to that's older and that's mature in marriage. So find someone, a couple that's been in marriage for a long time, that has a healthy marriage, that you can speak to about these things. So for me, that was my parents, but it can be leaders at your church, it can be an older couple that you know, that you trust, that you can confide in. It can be an older sibling that's married, that has a good marriage, that you can talk to about these things. So for me, that couple was my parents. So whenever I did meet a guy that I was somewhat interested in, I'll tell my parents, I'll be like, okay, look, there's this guy I'm talking to. What do you think? And they'll ask me a series of questions like, okay, cool, is he born again? What do you know about him? What does he do? Where is he from? What does he believe about this and this? Have you had this conversation? And for me at that point, like, those things would put things in perspective, the questions they would ask me. And then there would be some things that I may not have seen that they would bring out, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, you're right. So it's important to have like a mature couple that's been married, that has a healthy marriage, that you can speak to about these things. Because trust me, when you're entering marriage, you don't know what people have been married for 10 years plus know. Like, they've been through marriage and the refiner's fire, like, they've been through it, right? So it's important that you have a more mature couple that you're confiding in, ask these questions, and being completely open and honest with about, like, when you meet someone and how you're feeling and your views on this person you may be talking to. So it's important that you're speaking to people and you have people that you're accountable to. Also, friends that are honest with you, that you know are wise and will advise you wisely, are very important to have when you get into a phase of trying to, like, start courting or getting into a relationship. So that's very important. So have the difficult conversations. Don't compromise on your foundational values, and then find an older couple that's been married and that has a healthy marriage that you can speak to about, like, if you're speaking to someone that you're trying to get to know, and that will keep you in check, basically. And then also very important for me, especially as a Christian, and it should be for anyone as well, pray about your future partner and, like, these people that you come into contact with. Like, don't just think you're just going to find someone and life just happens and it's just going to happen. There's always forces working. Like, the devil doesn't want to see happy Christian marriages. So you have to be, it's a constant, like, spiritual warfare. It's a battle. So you have to continually pray about, like, your future spouse, that God's protecting them, that when you do meet, things will flow properly and everything will fall into place the way it's supposed to flow, and that things will go. It's very important that you're praying, and that you're also praying for yourself and your heart as well. So prayer is very important. Daily committing your path to find love and to find your future somebody into God's hands, and also daily praying for your partner and for when your relationship begins, that everything will be in God's hands and that God will put a hedge of protection around that relationship. That's very important. And when you do get into that relationship and things are going all rosy, that's when people stop praying now. Like, you've been praying, now you meet the person and you're like, I got what I wanted, cool. No, that's when you should even pray more. Like, once you're with your person or your to-be person, you should pray more and commit that relationship to God's hands more. Like, it's a continual process of growing and praying, because you found this person. Now it's the real work begins of getting to know each other, getting to merge these different backgrounds, that this person comes from a totally different upbringing and you come from a totally different upbringing, and there's bound to be conflict. So it's very important that you're praying about your relationship and committing it into God's hands, right? So now when you get into your relationship, it's important that you're praying, and it's important that you don't come in with expectations. Like, expectations are just the thief of joy. So don't come in with expectations. And when I do say don't come in with expectations, I'm not trying to compromise. I mean, yeah, on my last point about your foundational values. You have your foundational values, so that should have been established before you even got into this relationship. So you already know, okay, we're on the same page about Christianity, which is a big thing to me. You're on the same page about maybe how you're going to raise your kids, which is a big thing to you. You're on the same page about how you'd support extended family. Those are important conversations you should have. You're on the same page about which church we're going to go to. Are we going to go to different churches? Are we going to go to the same church? How you're going to raise your kids. You're on the same page about things that will be everyday things that you'll be dealing with. Then now you're in the relationship. Now you should be open and not come in with expectations. So none of you are perfect and everyone is going to fail at some point. So don't expect your person or this person that you're dating to be like a savior or God. It's unfair, and it's a lot of, like, burden to put on someone to expect them to, like, fulfill your every need and your every want, basically. So know that you're coming to this relationship to give 100%, and the other person should be coming in as well to give the 100%. You shouldn't come in and give your 50 and say they'll have to give their 50 and meet me halfway. You end up disappointed. So when you get into a relationship, focus on doing your part. Don't be too fixed on they're not doing this right or they're not doing this right. These are discussions you should have had before, and you go into a relationship knowing that this is what this person stands for. And then as you get into it, have discussions and say, okay, if there was something that they didn't do right, don't just get upset now and you start keeping it in and then one day it just like blows up. Have discussions as you go along the relationship. If there's something that rubs you the wrong way, find a good time to speak about it and be like, okay, how you said that hurt me. I didn't like the way you addressed me, or how you addressed me in front of that person. I'd rather address me this way because this hurt my feelings. So have these conversations in a place away from a place that could end up making it like very hot and gets out of control. But then wait for a time which is calm and then have a conversation to address if something made you uncomfortable, if something made you unhappy or upset, right? So wait for a time when you're calm and then have that conversation to express how you felt about a certain something that happened. And yeah, just keep having conversations and being open as possible about your feelings. Don't get into a relationship if you're going to be hiding your phone from your partner every time a message comes. Texting away from your partner. When you get into a relationship and you're about to get into a marriage, especially when you get into a stage of marriage, like you know that what is mine is yours and what's yours is mine. So everything between you is for, both of you. Your phone, your passwords, everything should be shared. Everything should be open. Your partner should have access to your phone whenever they want to and vice versa. Your partner should have access to your emails or whatever other accounts you have, your bank accounts, your bank statements, whenever they want to. It shouldn't be a secret once you become married, dear one. And these are discussions you need to have when you're dating and courting. You need to know what the other person thinks about these things, because you'll be shocked. You get married and you expected it's automatic that we'll have each other's passwords, and you find that this person doesn't believe in sharing everything or bank account details or everything. Then you end up frustrated, like, why is my partner not sharing? He's supposed to, but that was an expectation you had that you didn't discuss with them before. So have those conversations and make sure you're on the same page about those things that are very important. And then also, sometimes you will get into a relationship and you had those foundational values set that you were so eye to eye on, and then you start dating, and then you're like heading towards marriage, and say something happens such as your partner cheats on you, which should not be tolerated in any case. There are situations where some people genuinely do change and repent and whatnot, but cheating is like a no-go, no. So maybe you say you get into a relationship and your partner cheats, and now you've built up this whole fairy tale relationship on your social media, and everyone's always like goals, couple goals, and then your partner cheats, and then now you're like, you don't want to disappoint the masses. You don't want to disappoint the masses, so you decide to just forgive for the sake of not disappointing the masses, and you go ahead with the wedding, and then you find that your partner continues cheating in the marriage. Again, if that happens, do not worry about what other people are gonna say. Abort mission before you say your I do's. That is forever, like till death do you part. Before you say your I do's and your partner cheats, just abort mission, leave, because that's disrespectful. Like, cheating just doesn't happen like he just goes and is taken somewhere and he cheats and it just happened. No, there was texting that probably happened prior to, there was him driving to the other person's place that happened. There's a lot that goes into it. There's lots of steps that he or she can take to decide, okay, I'm crossing the line here, I'm about to cheat on my partner, let me stop. But then the person, there was a lot of like thinking that went behind it, and action and everything. That's what I'm saying. It's just a no. Yeah. So if that does happen to you, don't just stay for the sake of keeping up appearances because you've built this whole fairy tale relationship on your social media or around people that know you. Do not be afraid to abort mission. This is your life. Like, people may talk about you for a few minutes and they'll move on with their lives. Like, people have things that they're busy with. They're not going to dwell on your relationship and every day they're living, breathing, drinking your relationship. No, they've also got their own things to worry about. So just do what is right for you and what will make you happy in the long run. Always think about, is this right for me? Will this make me happy? In 10 years' time, am I going to regret this decision? And people don't even really care. They might talk about it for a few minutes. That's it. So for you, do what makes you happy. You'll be the same one that would stay unhappy after a while, and people will forget about it. So make sure that you don't compromise on things such as that. So basically, yeah, that was just my 2 cents on relationships. I can do another video later on if you'd like me to go further into more like a marriage relationship now, but for me that was basically on like dating and courtship and relationships. So if you have any questions, please comment down below, or if you have any comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. But basically that's my 2 cents on dating. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please like and share this video. Thank you. Bye. See you in the next one. Bye.